When I was looking for my first remote job, having no experience, I got 7 interviews and 6 offers within 30 days, ranging from $50,000 a year to $85,000 a year. Now, if that sounds crazy to you, I get it. Like I've seen many people that have applied to 50, 100, 200 jobs and haven't gotten a single interview, let alone multiple offers. So when I say I landed 6 offers in a month, I understand how that may seem impossible. But the truth is, it's not that crazy. It's only crazy if you do what everyone else does. And that's basically what this video is about. It's about what is it that everyone, pretty much the masses, are doing wrong when applying to remote jobs, and what was it that I did differently that got me these results. Most people, when they are looking for a job, they go online and they all follow the same process. They search a beautiful, fancy resume template. Maybe they even hire someone on Fiverr or on Upwork to help them with that. And then once they have their beautiful resume, beautifully done, they go on job boards, they go on LinkedIn, they go to just find multiple jobs that they like. They find, let's say, 15 to 20 jobs. They send out their applications, they send out the resume, they send probably the same exact application to every job. And then they sit back and wait for something to happen. And that's just not how the real world works. Not right now, not in this market, not to get a remote job. Here's the problem. Most people don't understand that they're in sales, that they're selling something when they're going into the job market, when they're doing job hunting, when they're searching for a job. But that's exactly what you're doing. You're trying to sell a product that is you. And if you're anything like me and you naturally absolutely suck at sales and you don't like it, you have to study it. You have no choice. That doesn't mean you have to become like a hard sales closer. You have to read every sales book in the world. No, you just do a little bit more than what everyone else does. What everyone else does is nothing. So if you just study a little bit of sales, a little bit of the principles of sales, you're gonna set yourself apart. Now, the first thing that you'll learn in sales is that you need a hook. That's the first step. A hook is something that literally hooks people, that grabs people's attention onto you. You gotta remember, you're reaching out to someone, whether you're sending just your resume, you're sending an email, sending a video, sending a LinkedIn message, whatever you're trying to get their attention out of 100, 200 other people that have also contacted them. So if you don't have a hook, like a strong hook, something that catches their attention right away, you're done. You're not even going, that's as far as you're gonna go. You're not gonna go through to the next stage. So how can you actually hook someone? What would be a good example of a hook in what comes to the sales process of trying to get a job? One thing you could do is send a personalized video explaining, go through their business, understand their business in and out, look for a few problems that you can spot in whatever aspect of the business that relates to the job that you're applying to, and then make a quick video, remember that these are business owners that are most likely gonna be reviewing your applications, or people that are higher up in the company and they're busy. So don't make a 10-minute video. Make a 2-minute video, explain very briefly, but very simply, make it easy to understand how you would fix certain problems that you're seeing. The goal is for them to see that you actually care, that you went through their company, you went through their website, you went through their social media presence, whatever you went through, and you actually understood the business, and you have good solutions. You have solutions that at least sound good to them when they're reading it for the first time or when they're watching it for the first time. Something else that could work as a hook is a simple recommendation letter from someone that is higher up in the industry. Let's say you're going for the job of a marketing manager. A recommendation letter from a marketing manager that has 10 years of experience or 15 years of experience goes a really long way. And there's many ways to get these recommendations, even if you don't have a network, if you don't know anyone in the industry, there's ways to do it. I talk about that in other videos. And then another hook could be something as simple as opening your email, your message, your cover letter, whatever you're sending, making the first line, you addressing a specific problem that you've analyzed that the business has, or a specific pain point, and proposing a solution to that pain point. Because nobody does that. People start their messages by talking about themselves. I'm looking for this job, I'm looking for this, and this. Don't do that. Talk about them and what they want. That's how you sell. So these are some examples of hooks that you can use. Now, once you have their attention, what do? What's the next step in the sales process of selling yourself during the job hunting stage? Well, the next step is where you go deep into their pain points, into their problems. Let's say you're working with let's say you're applying for a position as a social media manager, and you analyze the company, and you see it's very easy for you to see that they're working with a social media agency that's delivering mediocre results, let's see. that's your in. Like, that's your opportunity to really address a pain point that you see that's very clear. Like in that specific case, you talk about why agencies can never do a good job. They're managing 50 different clients. They have their attention split throughout a million different things. They're always reactive and not proactive. They don't take time to learn and to really understand the brand. And then you position yourself as the opposite, as the better alternative to what they currently have. You're a person that's gonna come in-house. You're not gonna have 50 different clients that you're managing. You're gonna be proactive because it's gonna be your job. Like, you're gonna wanna keep the job, and you're gonna wanna do a good job. You're gonna have all the time in the world to understand the brand. You're gonna be proactive. Again, like, you're gonna do everything that an agency cannot do. In this specific example, I'm just giving you an example so that you can understand what I mean by finding a problem and really going deep on the problem, and then presenting yourself as the solution to that problem. That's basically how you sell anything, not just in job hunting, but that's how you apply it to job hunting. That's how you apply it to getting a job. And please don't make the simple mistake that I mentioned before briefly, but I'm gonna mention it here again. The mistake of talking about yourself. Like, don't start your applications. Don't talk about, oh, I'm looking for the next challenge in my career, or I'm looking to be a part of a dynamic team. Don't talk about what you want. If you study the principles of sales a little bit, you understand that job hunting, whatever it is, you don't talk about what you want. You talk about what your prospect wants. In this case, what your potential employer wants. You talk about their company, the problems that their company is facing, related to your specific field. That's what you talk about. You talk about them, because that's really all they care about. They don't know you yet. They don't care about what you want yet. They might one day, once you're working for them for many months and they create a relationship with you and they start caring about where you want to go with your career. But now they're just looking for a solution to their problem. So talk about that. Don't talk about yourself. Now, at this stage, you may be thinking, okay, but in order to do all this, I need to personalize each application. And you don't need to 100% personalize each application. That would not be practical. That would take forever. But you do need a little bit of a degree of personalization in each application. Like, it's better for you to send 100 personalized applications, not fully personalized, but personalized on what's important to be different from each one to each one. It's better for you to do that than to send 10,000 templated applications with some new AI tool that allows you to apply to 50,000 jobs in an hour. It's way better. Like, nobody takes that seriously. Personalize your applications to a degree. Like, have a core structure to your application, like to the examples that you give, to how you structure your messages, et cetera, et cetera. Like, have a core structure to everything. But if you're gonna personalize anything and you wanna optimize your time, personalize the hook. Like, personalize the thing that catches attention. Show the company that you actually took the time to understand them, to understand who they are, what their problems are, and you took your time to think about potential solutions to those problems. You took your time to actually show that you're valuable to them, that you care about the job, that ultimately, if you get the job, you're the kind of person that cares about delivering good results, about actually being valuable. And it doesn't take you fully personalizing each application from beginning to end. If you just do the hook, that's gonna be enough to put you ahead of 90% of people in most cases. And here's another key that nobody does. Don't just apply to open positions. Like, don't just go on LinkedIn Jobs and look for jobs and apply to those jobs, or Indeed, or whatever platform you use. Apply quote unquote, to work with companies that don't have open jobs. Like, understand your field, right? Like, let's say you're a social media manager. Understand the field of social media management. Do research, use ChatGPT, use Google Gemini, deep research, use just Google search, and do research and make a list of companies that you think you would be able to do a great job for. The companies that, not just that you'd be able to do a great job for, but companies that you'd love to work for too. Be realistic with the kind of companies that you apply for, but make a list of companies. And then directly reach out to them. Like, look for problems that you can see and directly reach out to them and offer yourself as, don't try to sell yourself as a freelancer or as an agency, because that's just gonna make you look like everyone else. Because these companies get thousands of messages every day from freelancers and agencies offering services. Position, always remember, I'm talking about remote jobs here, not businesses, not building an agency, not being a freelancer. And that's the main thing. And the reason why I'm emphasizing this is that's the main thing in this case that's going to make you differentiate yourself once you reach out to the company. Because you're gonna get a message not from someone that's looking for a client, but from someone that's looking for a job. Someone that's gonna come in-house and fully dedicate themselves to their company. And then once you have your process nailed down, like once you have your hook, you have your value angle, once you have your reach out, your outreach system, once you've done it a few times and you have it nailed down, then it's just a matter of repetition. It's just doing it enough until something clicks. It also becomes a numbers game. It doesn't mean, like, don't take it to the extreme of applying to 50,000 jobs using some AI tool. But once you've reached that level of personalization where you can apply to, let's say, 3, 4, 5 jobs every day, then it's literally just a matter of repetition. It becomes a numbers game, becomes an odds game. The more jobs you can apply for that are good quality with good quality applications, the higher the odds that you're gonna get an interview and the higher the odds that you're gonna get an offer and a job. But it takes consistency, it takes discipline, it takes you actually doing it every day. It's not easy, but it's simple. It takes a lot of work, but it's simple. And most people aren't doing it. And if you're willing to do it, like if you're willing to do what most people are not willing to do, if you're willing to be a marketer, and approach the whole process as a sales campaign, then it's inevitable that you're gonna get results. And trust me, when you get that offer from that company that you really wanna work for, with a legitimate salary offer, and you ultimately get that first salary in, and you know, like now it's real that you have a really good salary, you can work from anywhere you want, you can travel the world if you want, that's gonna make it all worth it. Like all the outreach, all the rejections, all the unread messages, all the pain, all the work that seemed to be in vain is all gonna be worth it in the end. And most people never experience that feeling. Not because they're not qualified, not because they can't, but because they're not willing to do what it takes. They keep doing what everyone else is doing. They don't stop to question anything. You're smarter than that. You already made it to the end of this video. You're already in the top 1% of job seekers. So the only other piece of advice that I have for you is just get started. Like, don't procrastinate. Just get started sending your first application today if you have time. Don't overthink. Overthinking is gonna kill you. Just get started and then build a process where you're consistent. Like send out X number of applications every day. Obviously, as long as you have the skill. If you don't have the skill, then you have to go back and actually acquire the skill. But just the point I'm trying to make is just take action. Take action because you're gonna thank yourself later. And if you want direct help with getting a job, getting a remote job, I have a full 6-month program where I walk you through step by step how to go from 0 to landing your first remote job as a professional media buyer. Media buyer because that's what I do. I'm an advertiser. So I teach advertising, how to be an advertising manager or a media buyer. So if that sounds interesting to you, click the link in the description and check out the program.